Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? Happy Friday to each and every one of you. Thank y'all for tuning in for another show with me. I am Raymond, and I am your host, and I am in the studio with my wife, Anta. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got a good show lined up for y'all today. We're going to talk a little bit. I mean, this week has been crazy. I mean, it has been a crazy week. So we're going to talk about that Will and Jada. We're going to talk about Nick Cannon and Viacom. We're going to talk about Governor Kemp versus Mayor Bottoms. We're going to talk about them corona tests and corona numbers going up. So y'all don't want to miss it. Let's get into the show. You're listening to the New Wave Real Talk podcast, and I'm your host, Raymond Riley. This podcast is everything black culture, covering the latest topics in politics and entertainment.
If you have
Thank you for listening.
Office and haven't done a thing to further the cause of African American people in your community, then you do not deserve to hold that office. Period. A referendum on the status quo.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. So listen, I set it up already. I told you guys what we were going to talk about today. Will and Jada. Let's go ahead and start talking about Will and Jada. So, like, many people are giving their opinions about Will and Jada. Me personally, I got a lot of feelings, but I'm gonna ask you a couple questions to get this segment started. First question: do you feel that Jada technically cheated?
Yes.
Okay, so she says that Jada cheated. But okay, so how do you come so is it more so because they were married or what? What's your thought behind, just saying that yes, she cheated?
They were still legally married. So even her, if she called it an entanglement,
right?
That's still,
what does that even mean?
Starting a relationship with somebody else while you're still legally married.
Right.
You're cheating.
Yeah. I can see it from that perspective. I can also see it from a perspective of being separated, though. Like, when you're separated, doesn't that mean something technically? I mean, by law, as far as being able to say you cheated on me.
Separation is just it's kind of like a get out of jail free pass.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I know it's man-made, right? I mean, because it's biblically, you're always married.
Yeah, there's no separate. Either you're legally married or you're not.
Mm-hmm.
But when you separate, you have intentions to get back together with your partner. Mm-hmm. If not, then you go straight for a divorce.
Right. So what's supposed to happen throughout the separation period, technically?
You're supposed to be working on your marriage.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I mean,
well, she did say she was getting counseling. Well, no. She said she was canceling AUG.
When you separate, some people decide to like live apart for a while. Mm-hmm. I guess to work on themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But
right,
that's the gist of separation.
Because at the point of separation, you guys are no longer on the same page.
Correct.
Right.
You kind of like want to revert back to, I guess, dating each other.
Okay, each other. I was about to say, because if you just said blanketly dating, well, she technically
dating
did
your
that.
partner.
Right. So let's talk about all right. So August Alsina was, how old was he? I think he was 23 or 22 when this happened.
I have no idea.
So yeah, I'm gonna go on record. He would say he was between 22 or 23 when this happened. Now, the friend. So he met he was friends with their son, Jaden Smith.
I didn't know that.
Okay, so I'm giving you the backdrop story then. So Jaden Smith, his name is Jaden, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Jaden Smith was friends with August Alsina, and that's how August Alsina got into the Smiths' household. Because like it would be strange, like this random young guy, like just appear in your house.
They had like mutual family friends.
Nah, I think that's wrong.
Okay.
Because August Alsina, I mean, he didn't come from, he didn't come from fame. You know what I mean? Like he didn't come from a connected family like that. Mm-hmm. So basically it came out that he was friends with Jaden. He started to come over to the Smith household.
And somehow Jada was supposed to be able to like fix him because he was so mentally and emotionally and physically sick. They say everybody keep using the word sick. Do you know what type of illness he had?
Lyme disease, lupus. I don't know.
Okay, so he was physically sick. He did have a issue.
Yeah. He has something.
A disease.
Yeah.
Some type of illness. Okay.
I don't know what it is called for sure.
So how do you feel about how Will conversation was with her at the table? Do you feel that it was a sincere conversation, or do you think it was kind of like a Band-Aid?
I think it was sincere enough for their business.
Mm-hmm.
I could tell, they didn't really want to do it, but I guess because she has the red round table and
right, she was bringing herself
out
to
in
the
the
table.
open.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, he did as well as you can do
under the circumstances, right? I mean, I don't know how I would be in that situation. You telling me that you had an affair with. I mean, technically, can you even call it? I mean, that's the thing. Like, I'm so like just taken aback because I don't even know what to call it. She called it an entanglement. So, like, I mean, technically, if me and you were in an agreement that we weren't going to be with each other, and one of us actually had a thing with somebody else, that's, to me, I would feel that that's technically not like an affair. Because an affair is something that supposedly happened like behind the person's back, right?
Yeah.
Because an affair is like a whole thing that you keep secret, and you got a whole existence, like a whole relationship on the side. You know, your mistress, like Og. It's crazy that they call him Og, right? It's an interesting nickname.
She called him Og.
She got comfortable. I heard different people talking about it. I mean, everybody's talking about it. I mean, my show airs on Friday, so I'm a little late, but it is what it is. So how do you think you would have handled that situation if you was Jada? Put yourself in that situation.
Because I'm entanglements over here.
Because I feel like she's catching so much slack because people were saying that she really like it wasn't. I don't feel it was sincere. Like it was almost like she's gonna like say something. Like she didn't even call it what it was. Like she had sex with August. I saying it was a sexual relationship, but she used the word entanglement. Somehow they got tangled.
Will got relationship out of her.
But was it even a relationship? They could have just been fucking.
I mean, that's a relationship.
To some people, and to some people, it's not.
If you're having, whether it's
I hope it's consensual.
With the same person multiple times, you're in a relationship with them. It might not be like a romantic relationship, but she said she had a romantic relationship with August Asina. Maybe they weren't having sex. You don't know.
Oh wow.
She didn't go into that, but she probably was.
So like, if you was her though, if you was in that situation, what would you have liked to?
Jada.
I mean, you're the female on at the table. I mean, you can ask me questions from the perspective of Will, and I'll definitely give you my opinion. But like, what do you think she could have did differently as a woman to another woman? Like from what she did, you think she did everything right?
What in what context? Like
in answering, discussion? Like in basically owning up to the crap. Like I don't feel like she owned up to what it really was. It was like a dismissal.
I mean, she doesn't have to.
I mean, but why say something if you're not gonna own up to exactly what you did?
I think they said enough. I think they reluctantly did it because she's supposed to be an open book, but Jada is not that open of a person. You don't really know much about her and her business because
she's the friend that she knows everybody else's business and goes on a rant about everybody else's business and try to fix everybody else, but she's like, you ain't learning nothing about her. More than what she wants you to know.
Yeah, I think she's a private person, and because he came out and said something, everybody speculated it from way back when. So, like they were saying, it is old news.
Right.
So, pretty much it was an 8-minute episode. They got what they needed in that episode out to the public.
It was 12 minutes. You talking about the red table?
Yeah, 12 minutes. Yeah. 12 minutes. I mean, how much can you say
But all of these years,
And
all of
then-
these years of this, and then you give 12 minutes.
Yeah, I think Jada got caught
Yeah.
in the public eye.
Right.
I think Will Smith had been out there doing stuff too. Jada, I mean, she still hasn't admitted to Tupac. So
Right.
Everybody knows
That's
she was
true.
in a relationship with Tupac. Or she probably
That's
was in an
true.
entanglement with him
She was
too.
in an entanglement with Pac. She
But-
loves to give people nicknames too. You notice that? Like she called Tupac Pac. I mean, maybe a lot of people called him Pac though.
I don't know about that, but I mean,
But then she called him Og and then Pac. Just being just observant.
I mean, I think he felt it's still a little salty that she went back to her husband because she was still married, and he thought she was gonna leave her husband and be with him, but no, that ain't happened. I don't know what they had going on. Maybe she wanted to be wanted to have a brother husband. You know how you have the sister wives.
Interesting stuff.
So I think for a 12-minute episode, they got, and for it to be from 4 or 5 years ago, they got what they needed to say out. Jada has her issues. I'm sure Will has his issues. I just think he didn't get caught, and that's the reason why they are so calm about everything. He said he was done with her, so he don't feel like it was I guess an affair or something that's the end all be all of their relationship.
So how do you think so what I've been seeing on social media regarding this topic is so many people talking about how, I mean, you have one or two sides. Like I think there's so many people that support their marriage, which is very interesting to me. Like so many Christian people like support their marriage, which is just very interesting because their marriage is opposite of what the pastor would preach in church. Like the pastor wouldn't preach, you take your vows and then you make light of kind of your entanglements outside of your union. What do you feel about the future for their marriage?
I hope they last.
Do you think this is like a turning point for them?
Well, it would have been a turning point when they had broke up. So I don't think this segment of their lives, like now, is a turning point for them. I think that turning point was 4 or 5 years ago when they decided that they were going to call it quits and decided to stay together.
Yeah, I do think though there's a difference when everybody's in on your shit versus you knowing your stuff. Like I think that there's a difference. I do believe that there's a difference. Of everybody in the world, not everybody in the world, whoever wanted to know have been confirmed that this is, because there's been a lot of speculation about Will and Jada them possibly having an open marriage. They never confirmed that. Like also, go ahead, finish your thought on that. Then I got something else I want to say.
I was just gonna say that they're really good at the Oprah game, the Janet Jackson game. That what they want you to know.
Right.
And August Alsina was a hiccup in that little plan, but I don't think that's
a hiccup in the little plan.
That wasn't the big picture, in my opinion. So I don't think this is the end all be all just because you got a little 12-minute snippet into their life that's gonna make or break them. I believe they're stronger than that. They've been in the public eye for decades.
Right.
So I think they know how to play it. I think they know what they were doing when they got on the red table, and they knew exactly what they were gonna say. Jada more so than Will probably.
Do you think it was?
I think it was scripted to a point, but yeah.
Do you think it was? I was going to ask. Do you think it was? My first question that I was thinking about earlier was, well, I'll just ask the one I remember now. Do you think that they downplayed the situation, like with the joke, with the joking about, their relationship and about the little bad, what is it, bad marriage for life that they do?
Ride together, we die together.
And bad marriage for life. Like, how appropriate do you think that was? And that's why I say that I don't think it was sincere, because it's hard to, it's almost like it was just a game. But how do you feel about that?
It was probably a little bit of an uncomfortable thing.
So you think they masked the humor to mask
I mean, Will
the
Smith
pain?
is a comedian in a way.
Okay.
No?
No.
No?
Will Smith is an actor and a rapper. I mean, I would
I
give a rapper,
mean,
but I mean, he's
he was
hardly
a
a rapper
rapper.
anymore. But I mean, he wasn't he? He was a rapper.
Yeah,
Fresh Prince of
he was a
Fresh-
he
the
was a rapper,
Fresh Prince.
and then he was an actor,
right in that order.
and then Jada is an actress.
Right.
So-
Exactly. So you really and exactly that's what. But I don't. I mean, I think that maybe she was playing a part. Who knows? The Hollywood people. Well, talking about Hollywood, Nick Cannon and Viacom is at a spat right now, and I personally believe that Nick Cannon and anybody, I feel like everybody should be able to maintain their voice, no matter what organization they work for, no matter whatever. I mean, if it's your own personal opinion and it has nothing to do with that network at that particular point, you didn't say that on their network, you was on your own podcast talking about something that you believe to be true, how can someone fire you because of what you believe? Like, and if that was the case, why is Donald Trump the president of the United States? Right? I mean, because the stuff that he spews and says and how he actually is wrong. But Nick Cannon gets fired from host from TV shows and gigs and all that because he believes that black people were the original Hebrews and Jews stole the country. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, Twitter did flag Trump's one saying or one repost of something.
Well, I believe that Nick Cannon, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, go ahead and Google Nick Cannon and Viacom. I'm sure you already know now. But Nick Cannon actually said, literally, and I'm paraphrasing, that black people are the real Hebrews and the Jews are inferior and intimidated by black people. But I personally believe that there is a truth to the black Hebrews. I mean, that's my personal belief, and I feel like I can be entitled to believe whatever I want to believe, and that shouldn't cost me a job. So if anybody out here that supports me personally in my career and my job, if you want to fire me because I say that, then that's fine. But I think that we as black people need to stand up for our brother Nick Cannon, and we need to be outraged. And I think we need to start looking at Viacom a little bit differently. Viacom, CBS, it's a big conglomerate of a company. But at the end of the day, if we're not watching those programs, like especially with Viacom and VH1 and all of that, and I mean, but they even own BET. How about that?
Well, I haven't watched BET in years.
Okay, let me turn your mic up a little bit. Try to bring it a little closer to you. There you go.
Well, I haven't watched BET in years. I try to get back on it and watch this new show called Tuesday, but I haven't had a chance. With Nick Cannon, I mean, if you want to say what you want to say and you don't want anybody flagging you, you create your own podcast.
Well, he did. I think it was his own podcast. I don't know if it was on a network.
Well,
but.
broadcast it just like how you do.
Right.
I feel like go to your basement, get your system, and say.
But he's Nick Cannon, Anta.
Okay.
They're gonna hear it.
Yeah.
But I think the bigger issue is
that
people
way he
should
won't
have
get fired.
But they still will fire him probably.
How would
because
they
he's
fire him
affiliated
for his own work?
Exactly. Like that.
What's that white man?
Fox is even looking at him as potentially firing him from The Masked Singer, which would just be a horrible idea.
What's that white man that had his own radio thing and he was always all grumpy? He left the show, left it. I don't know.
Howard Stern? No, he was on regular radio.
Oh, there was another
Howard
one.
Stern.
I can't remember, but he's. I don't know if he still has his show or not, but he used to say all kinds of racist and all kinds of things, and he never got off the air. So I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
but
my prayers are with Nick Cannon. I hope that we as black people stand up against Viacom and CBS and let them know that we will support Nick Cannon for his own personal beliefs. His personal beliefs does not impact anybody.
Well, you just said a lot of people listen to Nick Cannon, and Yeah, some people, I'm not saying what they did is right. I'm not saying that, but if I don't know exactly what he said, but if it
I
was
told you.
along, you paraphrase.
I paraphrase, but you get the sentiments. The Jews are. He feels that the Jews are fake, and that they're not really the chosen people, and the black people are the chosen people, and the Jews are inferior. That's how he feels. But I mean, I think. But go ahead, finish your thought. But that's what he said, and that's what he feels.
I would have to. I would have to look and see, like, all the statements he made and everything.
Okay, Donald Trump. Moving right along.
Don't call me that.
Well,
That's
Nick,
rude.
I'm sorry, but that's what Donald Trump does. You're trying to say that my news is fake. You want to go to the
I'm not trying to
source.
say that your news is fake. Did I say
You're calling me fake
I'm
news.
not calling you fake news. I'm saying I don't have all the facts
Oh.
to make my own statement about
Okay,
it. And
that's fair.
I don't
will
want to
accept
make
that.
a statement that I don't know, which would probably offend people.
We only got 6
race.
people to listen to this podcast. You ain't gonna offend nobody.
Oh,
Okay,
I bet you.
we got
I
6
bet you I
people
could.
that listen to this podcast. Nobody's gonna get offended. But yeah, so Mariah Carey probably dodged that bullet. What you think?
What you mean?
If she was still married to him, well, they would fire her too.
No, she's half white.
Well, what does that got to do with it? What does her race got to do with it? You think they're targeting him because he's black? Is that the conversation you want to have?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's not
But
a
that is true.
conversation
That
I
is
wanna
true, though.
have,
That is
but
true.
It could possibly be that.
It is 100% true. If Nick Cannon was white, blue-eyed, blonde, he would not be fired for what he said. He would be reprimanded. And he probably wouldn't be fired. But now Viacom did come out and say that because he did not apologize for what he said, he was fired. Then he came out the day after and apologized. But I don't know if he's going to get his job back now. Maybe he will. But then they told him to go and speak to a rabbi to understand why what he said was offensive.
Like I said, I would have to hear everything that he said.
Okay.
When you get into religion and attacking a race.
Okay, but he didn't attack a race. He attacked. Well, let me not say that. He attacked a religion, a group of people. That is true. Technically, yeah.
I mean, he
didn't really attack him. He just shared his opinion.
Yeah, but if it's something that would excite other people to possibly get the idea to attack them, then I can see where they say anti-Semitic. But because people are crazy, they take one little statement and they run with it. Just like how Trump said the China flu, and everybody wants to attack Chinese people or Asian Americans, and they don't have anything to do with Asians. I mean, with China, you don't even know if they're Chinese, and you attacking Vietnamese people, Philippine people, just because they look Asian, or boycotting them. So I can see that, but like I said, I don't have all the facts. So.
Gotcha. Well, we got the facts about Governor Kemp going up against Mayor Bottoms. So we got the Georgia governor going up against the Atlanta mayor, all because the Atlanta mayor wants people to wear masks to keep the spread of the coronavirus contained and to a minimum. And the governor actually went on a 5, 6, 7 city tour promoting wearing a mask. You can't even make this shit. I mean, you can't even make this stuff up. Like, you cannot make this up. This is the stupidest thing I've seen like in a long time. Like hypocrisy, like on like level 1000. You went to every major city in Georgia, asked the people to wear a mask. Those same representatives of those cities, the elected officials of those cities, are choosing to enact a mandate for people to wear the damn mask that you just flew around the city or the state advocating.
Even before he started flying around, I think down in Savannah they had that mask mandate put in before he started flying around, and it didn't become a problem until Mayor Keisha Lance Bottom started advocating for it and started speaking out on all kinds of platforms, and he got his little feelings involved, and now it's a big mess. That's what it is.
So now he's suing Mayor Bottoms because of the fact that he wants the state to have more control than over the city. Now, the Mayor Bottoms actually says that this is a fight that she's willing to have, and you can see her in court. Now, also, she is a lawyer, by the way. I don't think Kemp is a lawyer. I think he was just a good old Georgia boy that owned his own business, and he was able to be the governor of Georgia. Well, Secretary of State first, and cheated the election, and then became the governor.
He didn't cheat in his own words.
Yeah, he didn't cheat. Yeah. But okay, so let's talk about the hypocrisy of that. Let's just look at this a little bit more. Now, why do you think that he's targeting Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms? You know the facts about that. Why do you think he's targeting her?
Because she's a woman and she's African American and she's speaking her mind.
I agree with you. I think that he's definitely trying to flex his muscle. And he's trying to send a message. This is more. This means more than, or this is more about the signal of supremacy and control and power than it is saving lives and keeping people well throughout this time. Now, in his defense, he is stating that the reason he is suing the mayor of Atlanta is because he is working to preserve the freedoms and the financial stability of all of those hardworking Georgians who just want to maintain their livelihood, that they don't want to see their business go under. So that is his defense of suing Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms.
But if those owners and those customers start getting sick or dying, who's going to be supporting those businesses anyway?
Right. Maybe somebody else will. I don't know. But this is the crazy thing of the matter, in my opinion, is she's not advocating closing the city down. She's advocating that when you're in public that you wear a mask. Now, she was trying to roll the city back to phase 1, which would close down certain type of businesses to shut them back down. Now, I don't think that it is smart for anybody, like for both of us. We have not went to any restaurants, like dine-in restaurants. We've ordered takeout, and me personally, I advocate when my food comes here, I'm zapping it in the microwave for like 30 to 45 seconds because heat will kill the damn virus. So that's my method. That's their theory. I'm going to do every theory that works. Maybe the more theories I do, the more healthy I maintain. So whatever it takes to make sure that I stay healthy is what I'm going to do. So we have not went to any restaurants. I don't see how you can go to and if you are a listener of the podcast and you've done this, maybe you can leave a comment and let us know what your comfort level was when you went into this restaurant, like to sit down in a restaurant and actually be comfortable enough to eat there.
I got a little boy to look after. I am not going anywhere where I could possibly put myself or him at risk. And that's just my opinion on it. And if I do go anywhere, it's going to be with the mask.
Right. But I mean, it's crazy. People are actually sitting down in restaurants right now and having meals. Like, how do you get that comfortable? I was reading when this whole thing was coming out, and it was about how complacency is how the coronavirus kills you, because you get complacent. You let your guard down. You get comfortable. And that has happened to us in the United States on this second time around. Like, so the whole time of May and June, I guess more so May. So the whole month of May was when the restrictions were really eased. Mm-hmm. Pretty much Georgia was, I think, like the 15th or the 20th of April, because he didn't even get to the end of the month before he just opened up everything.
True.
So the whole month of May, what happened? Like, why wasn't there a level of preparation, even like with hospital beds, even with like supplies and protection, PPE, right? Like, how are we now talking about shortages again when we've been here before?
Well, I think what happened was they got comfortable with what they had when the first, I can't even call it the first wave because it really didn't. I guess I don't know.
It didn't go anywhere. We're still in the first wave. We're just part two.
The first time around, before numbers started slightly declining, that's probably when they got comfortable. But that was like a national shutdown. That's what we were coming off of, a national shutdown. And so that's why the numbers were decreasing. And so we didn't get hit as hard as New York or California.
And when you say we, you talking about Georgia?
Yeah, Georgia. Okay. Didn't get hit as hard as New York or California because by that time we were slightly prepared. And people were locked up inside.
Right. Yeah, so, it was more hypersensitive to the subject. Yeah.
So you open back up, and now with everybody antsy and traveling everywhere, and all these people are just anxious to get out and do things.
Yeah.
So that's the reason. Because May was kind of.
I mean, May was really
kids still in school, but people had summer plans, and they probably just was like, okay, we'll follow through with our summer plans. And
to a certain degree. I think that May for me, because throughout this whole thing, obviously, I've still been working and doing things, not at the same level that I was doing before, but I think that, in my opinion, I feel like May really. By the first Monday, the second Monday of May, it was almost as if there was no such thing as the coronavirus in the state of Georgia. Every single thing had opened back up. People were confused about the mask at that point, because at one point they were saying that you should wear the mask if you're symptomatic, but you should not wear a mask if you're not symptomatic. Anthony Fauci was guilty of saying that himself. He's now come back to say, we need to wear the mask. And so there was always this whole, just a weird mix of messaging. But I think that was to be expected, because you're dealing with something that we never have kind of dealt with before.
Yes, because we have a dumb president.
Yeah, I mean, he's really just messing it up. Yeah, for sure.
That's the problem. The information has to come from the top, which is the president of the United States. And he needs to be following his health advisors, some of which his administration appointed, or did they? His administration appointed all of them.
Yeah, all of them. They picked everybody, handpicked them to be on the. He picked everybody.
You should be following science, not a whim, and it should be starting with you and trickling down. So anything that you decide needs to go down to whoever, governors, mayors, senators, city leaders. Everybody should be on the same page.
Right.
And that's how you defeat a pandemic. Right. Not, you do this and you do that, and I'll do this, or we won't do that. And that's when everything gets muddied like that. It doesn't matter. But I mean, if y'all want everybody to just catch the virus, and as many people to catch the virus as possible, just go ahead and say so.
Right.
Just don't put people in the dark. If you want people to catch the virus, just be like, hey, we opening everything back up.
Whoever gets it, gets it.
Y'all go back to school. Whoever gets it, gets it. If you die, you die.
Right. I feel like,
if you don't, well, good on you.
Yeah.
We don't think that you could re-get it, so hey.
Right. I do think that there is a level of herd immunity that they are going for. And I think that if they would say that, I think people could, I could deal with it better, to know that, hey, you don't give a damn. It is what it is. Okay. And that brings up a good point that I wanted to talk about too, which was the coronavirus itself. So, as you know, we have 3 people in our family that are confirmed positive for the virus. We have not been around them, y'all. So we good. But we got 3 family members that have been confirmed positive for the coronavirus. Now, they got the virus at the same time. So they have all went through this journey at the same time. Now, from the outside looking at it,
I think that so they're all fairly. I mean, they're all. I mean, they're all better than I would expect someone to be that has this illness that has killed so many people. Right? I mean, this thing has killed 140,000 people just on the estimate. Right? I'm just rounding.
Mm-hmm. Almost.
Right.
Which
So
will probably be in a couple of days.
right. So to hear that, and then you see, we got three family members that have it, and they're like, fine. So it makes me wonder: is there a part of this thing where the media and politicians, and even some scientists, and this is just playing the advocate. I don't like to say devil's advocate, but looking at it from a different perspective. Could it be that the coronavirus is really really politicized to be this seriously dangerous, deadly thing, when in reality it's not as deadly as they say? What's your opinion?
I think it's as deadly as they say. I don't think it's over politicized. I think what the media covers is more on the side of negative than positive. I do believe that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's not a serious disease. I mean, if people are dying from the disease, especially if you get back to the point where they want to send kids to schools,
Mm-hmm.
which Governor Cuomo from New York said that's like guinea pigs.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to test your guinea pig theory. One kid dying is too much from a disease that we don't have a cure for and don't know enough about.
Mm-hmm.
And just because it was the luck of the draw, you don't know which way it could have went with our family members. So prayerfully, thankfully, they're okay. But you have a lot of families that are going through deaths and serious hospital stays, and sometimes you see as in who was it? Andrew Cuomo. He was fine for a couple of days, and then he got sick. He got really sick, and then he was okay again. And then I think towards the end, he was still reading positive, like for almost a month.
You're talking about Chris Cuomo.
Yeah, Chris Cuomo. Yeah, him. Yeah. So, it just affects different people in different ways, and you don't know if you catch it,
how it'll affect you. No, I get that part, but I think that I do think that the conversation of how many people actually survive is overshadowed by how many people actually die.
I think I know more people survive than actually die from the virus, but the point of the matter is that it kills older and underlying people with underlying diseases more than it does people who are younger. And the fact that
so I think
younger people are spreading it is a problem.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. I mean, but I just think that that conversation should be had about just kind of making sure that, because I said this from the beginning of this whole pandemic, and what I said was we are going to have to find a way to coexist with the virus, because the reality of the situation is we cannot stop life as it relates to being able to provide for your family. It would be perfect. It would be like the best case scenario if the government could support all of the 350 million people in this country for 6 months.
And where is that second stimulus check at?
Well, that's not gonna. There's not gonna be a second stimulus, and the reason it's not gonna be a second stimulus is because the president of the United States does not want to see the country go into financial ruin. Is what he said.
because he can't afford to not allow people to go back to work so that we can collect taxes. So he can't.
But he don't pay
he can't
taxes.
He can't support the country. Well, I mean, that's not him.
He don't pay taxes.
I don't want to give him any energy. I don't really want to give him any energy.
He told me that I was gonna get another stimulus check, and I would like my second stimulus check.
Well, you can keep waiting on it.
Ridiculous. That make no sense.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our show. Hopefully you've enjoyed the conversation with me and Anta today. If you definitely got some comments about this episode, go ahead and drop it in the comment section on YouTube as well as Facebook. Also, be sure to like us at New Wave Real Talk on Facebook. What's your final thoughts, Anta? Got any final thoughts you want to say to the people?
Kemp sucks. Go Keisha. Stay married. Will and Jada. Will and Jada. And, go Nick Cannon. I support you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's the show. Y'all have a good Saturday, and we'll see y'all next week.